Hi, Scott Whitley here, and welcome to this new series of 12-bar blues bass tutorial videos. Now, in this series, I'm going to specifically look, obviously, at the 12-bar blues, or the 12-bar sequence, more accurately. If you're not familiar with the 12-bar blues, or the 12-bar kind of sequence, it's probably one of the most commonly used sequences, chord sequences in the world. And probably 99% of obviously blues stuff revolves around this sequence or variations of it. Most rock and roll from the 50s was 12-bar based. A lot of country is very 12-bar or similar to 12-bar sequences. And then you've got stuff moving more up to date, like a couple of years ago, Duffy's tune Mercy. That's a kind of 12-bar. It's not exactly a 12-bar, but it's that same sort of vibe. So why is the 12-bar so interesting? I mean, it's such a simple chord sequence. Well, when you think about it, all that material I just talked about, all the rock and roll songs, all the Chuck Berry stuff, all the Little Richard stuff, the Elvis stuff, all being essentially the same chord sequences. What makes each of those pieces of music different? And to be honest, you can more or less instantly recognize a lot of those records just from a few bars. And the thing that distinguishes each track is what the musicians are doing in their part on the piece. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to play a 12-bar blues for you. Or a 12-bar sequence, and I'm just going to play around a little with it. Every time round the sequence turns round and starts again, I'll do something slightly different, and I just want to sort of demonstrate how you can, almost your imagination is the only limit really to what you can do with a 12-bar sequence. So let's just kick it. I've got a drum machine here. Just a kind of shuffle sort of rhythm, okay? So I'm going to start with, a kind of traditional sort of walking bass line. Here we go. Move it up to a kind of shuffle. Same chords. And we'll take it right down now, okay? some chordal stuff. Okay, so I hope you see what I mean. You can really play around with a 12 bar blues. It's a great vehicle for improvisation. What I'd like to do now is break down the makeup of this 12 bar sequence, okay? There's a PDF which you can download, the link's in the description below the video, that's got this written out for you. But just to go through it, there are several variations of the 12 bar blues, all very similar, and some a little bit more complicated than others. But the version or the variation that I was playing there goes like this, okay? Now you've got three chords. You've got a G, I was playing it in G, C and D. They're the three chords, G, C and D, okay? Now what I want to do is get you into the into calling these chords 1, 4 and 5, okay? I'll explain that a little more later on, and why that is, but if you can just kind of just bear with me and just accept that you know, when I'm going to call the G a 1 chord, okay, and I'm going to kind of keep reiterating this. Mainly the reason is so that later on we can move into different keys, and I can just talk about the 1 chord, the 4 chord and the 5 chord without having to talk about note names at all, okay? So we're going to start the sequence, as I say, it's 12 bars long, and it starts with a bar of the 1 chord, the G, okay? And then we've got 1 bar of the 4 chord, which is C, okay? And then 2 bars of the 1 chord again, the G, all right? Then we've got 2 bars of the 4 chord, C, followed by another 2 bars of the 1 chord, all right? And then finally, so that's 8 bars so far. Let's just go through that again. So it's a bar of G, the 1 chord, a bar of C, the 4 chord, and 2 bars of G, the 1 chord. And then 2 bars of C, the 4 chord, and 2 bars of G, the 1 chord, okay? So next it changes up and we go to the 5 chord, which is D, in the key of G, it's D, a bar of that, C, a bar of that, and then a bar of C is a 4 chord, remember, a bar of the 1 chord, G, and finally one last bar of the D chord, okay? So what I'll do, I'll put a drum rhythm on, and I'm just going to play those root notes of each chord. Let me just explain that. I am going to talk chords, even though we're not necessarily playing the chords as chords. In other words, we're not playing, you know, chords like that. We're going to play mainly the root notes of the chords and things like arpeggios. Now, an arpeggio is the notes that make up a chord, you know, something like that, but played in a sequence, okay? Rather than all together at once, okay? So here we go. I'm going to play just the root notes of each chord. I'm going to call them by the note name and the number, but as we go on, I'd like to sort of drop out the names and just call them by the number, okay? And all I'm going to do, as we change, I'm going to let you know what's coming next and kind of nod on the chord change, and then if you just hit that note, and just to get used to where the changes come and how it sounds and how it feels, okay? Let's give it a go. So we're going to start on the 1 chord, G, Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, G. And then C, the 4 chord. And then G, the 1 chord. And we stay on that for 2 bars. And then C, the 4 chord. Stay on C. And then G, the 1 chord. Okay, up to the 5 chord, D. And then to C, 4 chord. And then back to the 1, G. And then 5, D. That was D. G. 4 chord, C. 1 chord. And then up to the 4 chord, C. And then back to the G, 1. Okay. And then up to the 5 chord, D. 4 chord, C. 1 chord, G. And 5 chord, D. Let's just try it with the numbers. 1, 4, 1. 4, 1, and then 5, 4, and 1, and finally a 5. Now let's play it through again. This time we'll just play 4 beats in a bar. Okay, so we're just going to play. Okay, now it might seem, you know, if you're quite an advanced player or you've done a lot of stuff but you just want to get into the 12-bar blues, it might seem a bit simplistic, but it's just the sound of where the changes come that I want you to be getting into at the minute. Okay, so here we go. So we're just going to play straight 4 in a bar. Okay, here we go. On the 1 chord. A 1, 2, 3, 1, 4. 1. Stay on the 1. 4. And 1. 5. 4. And 1. And then 5. And back to 1. 4, 1. Stay on the 1. 4 and 1. Up to the 5. 4, 1. And finally 5. And that's it. Okay, so if you can just kind of if you've got a drum machine or something like that, or you could just rewind the video loads of times, it's up to you, and just play over and over that sequence and really get it into your ears really. I mean, I highly recommend, and I always say this, just kind of humming or playing, singing what you play. Okay, I'm not going to do that for the sake of your sanity on this video, but I'll just give you a quick demo. So you literally, you know, just kind of hum it like that. Get used to the change. It's almost like a little tune. Okay, so we're not going to go too crazy in this first video, but I'm just going to show you one other thing just to keep it a little interesting while you practice this and get used to the sequence. Is we're going to play, you know, I talked earlier about arpeggios. I'm going to show you a very simple arpeggio. Many of you might obviously know this already. It's just a major arpeggio, okay? And it's the notes that make up a major chord, right? So, what we're going to do, when we're on the 1 chord, the G, we're going to play a G. We're going to play a B, which is so the G is obviously the 3rd fret on the E string. We're going to play a B, 2nd fret on the A string, a D, 5th fret on the A string, and a G, an octave, which is the 5th fret on the D string. Okay, so let's just go through that again. G, 3rd fret on the E string, B, 2nd fret on the A string, D, 5th fret on the A string, and an octave G, 5th fret on the D string. Okay, sounds like this. Okay, so those first 3 notes, those, if you play them simultaneously together, you get a chord. Now obviously we can't do that because 2 of the notes are on the same string, but I'll just play it you higher up in the so you can hear what they sound like. Okay, that's what they sound like together. Okay, but down here on the bass, if I play those together, you can do it. Very, very dirty. So we're going to play them as an arpeggio. Okay. Okay. When we move up to the 4 chord, the C, we're going to use exactly the same shape, except just kind of move it down 1 string. Okay, so we're going to start on the C, 3rd fret on the A string, then we've got an E, which is the 2nd fret on the D string, and then we've got a G, which is the 5th fret on the D string, and then a C, 5th fret on the G string. Okay, just go through that again. 3rd fret on the A string, a C, E, 2nd fret on the D string, G, 5th fret on the D string, and C, 5th fret on the G string. Did I say that right? Okay. So that's your 1 and your 4 chord. And then on the 5 chord, exactly the same thing, but starting on a D. So just quickly go through it. So we start on a D, 5th fret on the A string, F sharp, 4th fret on the D string, A, 7th fret on the D string, and finally an octave D, 7th fret on the G string. Okay, so when we're on the 1 chord, we play. When we're on the 4 chord, we play. And when we're on the 5 chord, nice harmonic, we play. Okay, right. So let's play through the sequence. Okay, we're just going to play the 4 in a bar. You know, that rhythm. Okay, and let's just give it a go. Here we go. So I'm just going to call them by 1, 4, and 5, and hopefully by now you'll have grasped that. Okay. Here we go. 1 chord, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1, 4, 1, 5, 4, 1, and then 5, and then back to 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 5, 4, 1, and finally 5. Okay, again, I recommend if you can get a metronome or a drum machine, that's a shuffle or blues rhythm we're playing there, a swing rhythm would work, and just play this sequence over and over and over and over again. Okay, by all means play about with it, do what you want, but if you can just get what we've got so far really kind of locked in, then that's a good base for moving on, and we can start to look at improvising and how you can really play about with a sequence. Okay. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions at all, please send me an email on scott@scott-whitley.com, and I'll try my best to help. Feel free to check out my website, which is www.scott-whitley.com. Over there you can actually subscribe, just put your email address in a box, and I'll send you extra free links to videos that aren't available on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one.